unfortunately, the beginning was the revolution that was happening in the Middle East, and you know what has happened in that since we started filming it and now is all these revolutions have fallen flat. To be honest, the only non-violent revolution, or
What do
one
you
of
mean
the
by
two.
fallen flat?
Well, you have Egypt that had a revolution, elected, democratically elected someone who's in jail, waiting for service, is now under military rule. You have Libya, which is still a mess. You have all these countries which are still, to some degree, they're a bit dangerous. And you know, the whole point of the film was to say that I was just trying to say that there's a band of people around the world who are like-minded, just like us. And the goal in the film was to show that in these countries there are people who think like us.
But guys,
you're gonna
sorry, I go back to your point, and I absolutely agree. But you guys are focusing on countries such as Libya, Syria. Sorry, you stopped it there in terms of, you know, there's conflict, but nobody's pushing Syria like they did with Iraq. And
Right.
look where we are with Iraq, 7, 8, 10 years later, where America went in there, etc. Now is pulling out, and nothing's really resolved because everybody's still killing each other and everybody's still blowing each other
the
up.
same as in Beirut.
Absolutely. No, but in Beirut it's a bit different.
You have all those bombings this
You
week.
have the bombings, but the bombings are more because politically Lebanon has always been, you had the Russians in Lebanon in the 80s, you had the Iranians in Lebanon in the 80s fighting the Shiite Iranian war through Hezbollah, and then you have the Sunnis and the Americans, etc. But going back, these are countries that have finally discovered democracy and that there's nothing to lose and move forward. You're comparing them to countries such as the US or any other country that took years to get where they are.
Yes,
Right?
there was
They were established. Saudi was established in the 1950s. That's 60, 70 years ago. They're tribal, etc. That's where they are today. I'm not giving that as an excuse, but at the end of the day, what happened in the last 2-3 years, you cannot, you know, imagine like whether Egypt it's going to be democratic, everybody, yay, let's move on. It's going to happen. It's going to take time.
no. There were one of the counter arguments that I